What's up, Internet? This is Mike at Clarington Kia. Behind us, we're going to take a tour of this 2022 Hyundai Palisade Ultimate Calligraphy. Man, they come up with cool names for cars. Let's go take a look at this amazing luxury 7-passenger vehicle. Okay, so let's take a tour of the Ultimate Calligraphy Hyundai Palisade. This is the creme of the creme, top of the line vehicle that Hyundai makes. And as we take our tour, I think you're going to find out why. It really is quite stunning at the appointments and features on this vehicle. So what we're going to do today is go through some of those great features as well as the condition of this Palisade. It is a 22. It does have 40,000 kilometers on it. So if I see any dings, dents, scratches, things like that, I will point it out. You don't have to stop. You don't have to zoom in. I'll get nice and close. So that way, you know the condition of this vehicle as well. So let's start off. What is underneath the hood? We have a 3.8 liter V6 engine. That means that you can definitely tow some stuff behind this. Any of the toys you got, boats, trailers, Sea-Doos, snowmobiles, whatever it is, you're gonna have up to 5,000 pounds of towing capability on the Palisade, which is fantastic. Now, take a look at this beautiful signature LED daytime running light silhouette. It looks absolutely fantastic. If I get it really close, look at the nice little detail there that you have. And then right there you have LED headlights as well, so that way at night it is super bright and you're going to stay nice and safe and get great visibility on the road. Now look at the massive front grille on the Palisade, very sharp looking. You can see right there, there's a camera up front. There's actually 4 cameras on the vehicle. There's also sonar there as well. And then the one thing that I did notice here, just in this little trim piece here, it looks like there's a stone chip here that just started to, I guess, I don't know, say crack the paint, but anyway, there's a little stone chip there, a little blemish on the front, but that's kind of to be expected, right? Those stone chips at the front of the vehicle with something this large, that's going to happen. Now, coming around here, we're going to take a little step back so you can see a nice side profile of the Palisade. As I mentioned, this is a family SUV. This is the 6-seater configuration with the captain's chairs in the center row. We're going to get to that. Don't worry, we'll hop inside, but I want to continue the tour outside so that way you know the condition of the Palisade. Now look at these fantastic wheels, 20-inch wheels. They look incredible. Really nice design on the alloys there, and then we've got some nice tires wrapping it around them. We've got the side steps here as well. Nice little bonus from the previous owner. Turn signals in the mirrors, and then another camera right underneath there, which I'll show you what that does when you get inside. It gives you a really nice top-down view of the Palisade. Now, coming around the driver's side here, I don't see any damage that I need to report. Everything looks nice and tidy. I'm not even trying to find a door ding or something. No, it looks all really nice back there. Now, coming around to the back, you can see these beautiful LED taillights. At night, those are going to be super bright, super white, so that way prevents some rear end collisions for you. You can see the back is finished off super nicely. We have that nice Palisade nameplate going right across the back there. And then, of course, we do have a power trunk on this vehicle here. So we've got lock, unlock, a remote starter, of course, and then push and hold. And this is going to open up for us. Probably not, because the car's already started. Yeah, okay, so the key only works like this when the car isn't started, or if you use the remote start, it'll still work. But once it's started and I've already put it in drive and reverse to kind of park it, that's why it doesn't work. But trust me, it does work. Just makes me look silly. All right, here is our seating configuration with the 3rd row seats up. You can see lots of room back here for rear cargo. I'm gonna say something and the team inside won't like it. I think this is more cargo space than a Kia Telluride, which is the direct competitor. I think it looks like it, but I could be wrong. But you know, between you and I think there's more room in here than a Kia Telluride. So we'll just keep that secret to ourselves. Now, one other thing here, we can see we've got just outside, I've got all the WeatherTech floor mats for all 3 rows. They're here. They're going to go back in the trunk, but just for the purpose of the video, I took them out. Now, here's something really cool that the Telluride, getting confused, that the Palisade does. So we've got a 12-volt outlet here. You can fold down that 2nd row seats here just with the buttons. But look at this. We do have a power option for these 3rd row seats to fold down, which is pretty slick. I like that. Right now, you can see here we've got completely flat cargo system. So if you've got some larger items, maybe you headed to IKEA, you want to, build a bookshelf or two, you can do that. You can see the tonneau cover here also fits down in this little cubby, which is really smart. That's a great idea. And then it's also power return here. So let's bring this back up so that way you can see that. I'll show you the third row seating, the condition of that as well, because that's always important. But that's kind of a nice feature, right? You don't have to reach in and pull. And I mean, I'm just lazy, I guess, but I like that idea. So let's continue around here to the side. The passenger side looks absolutely fantastic as well. Take a step back, you can see a nice side profile of the Palisade. You're gonna really be shocked at what is inside the vehicle. I was, and I hope you are too. But this is in great shape on the exterior, with the exception of that little stone chip down there. I mean, everything else looks great. Now let's go check out the back seats here, because this is where the family comes and enjoys. And let's face it, if the family's comfortable, as a driver, you're gonna be comfortable too. You're not gonna hear so much whining and complaining and things like that. I mean, it's not whining if it's your kids, right? Yeah, right. Okay, captain's chairs in the back, and then look at the treatment that this captain's chair gets. I mean, the diamond stitching, the perforated leather, absolutely gorgeous. It does have the armrests as well built in there. They're adjustable too, so you can make sure it's all nice and comfortable for everybody. The passenger one as well, in fantastic shape. And then you can see on that door panel there, look, it continues that nice diamond patterned stitch on the leather inserts for the door panel. But don't forget, look up, because we have this massive glass pane back here to let in a lot of light. I tell you, this will completely change how the interior feels, and it also helps prevent motion sickness for any of the little ones in the back. You can see we got vents up top. It is tri-zone climate control, so driver, passenger, and then rear passengers all have independent temperatures. And that glass panel here does have a power shade, so you can close that up from the driver's perspective up in the front there, if anybody is getting a little too warm perhaps. Now, I want to continue just looking at this the panel over here, because there is one thing to note. We do have a power shade, not power shade, my gosh, I just manually pulled it up and said power. We have a sunshade here built in. You don't need to get that ugly suction cup one from Canadian Tire. It's already built into the door panel. And then for the rear passengers as well, check this out. So these captain's chairs are not only heated, which is kind of, you know, a normal thing, they're also air conditioned. So it blows the air conditioning duct right underneath the seat and kind of cools off your tush, which is fantastic, because leather seats obviously get a little warm. But these the folks in the captain's chairs back here won't have that issue. We have the climate control settings here. You can turn this off from the driver's infotainment system, so that way if you got really little ones here and they keep on mucking around with buttons, you can turn it off so only the driver and passenger in the front have access to it. We've got a 115 volt outlet back here, 400 watts. You can definitely, oh no, sorry, I lied, 150 watts. You can definitely charge up your laptop, your iPads, and things like that. Speaking of which, USB ports in both of the driver and passenger front seats for the back passengers to access. And then last but not least, getting in the back seat, never easier. Push, and look at that. How simple is that? Remember the days when you had to like unlatch a bunch of stuff just to get in the back seat? Back seat looks great. You can see it's in fantastic condition back here. We do have cup holders built in, and we've got the USB ports in the back as well for passengers. And you do have a power reclining third row seat, because those seats are power in the back, right? So they can recline nice and far back to make it really comfortable. And then look at the leg room back here. You can actually fit passengers back here who have legs, which is super sweet. It's not just for little kids. Let's fold this back. This is on a recliner, or sorry, a slider as well. That's all the way up. Anyway, just to give you an idea. All right, let's continue to mom and dad, or mom and mom, dad and dad, whatever the configuration in your household is. Power sunroof up top. The same beautiful seats from the second row captain's chairs are really almost identical for the front. We just got a little bit more bolstering on the sides. We've got your power seat, right? This is a, oh gosh, how many ways? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12-way power driver's seat. We also have the power passenger seat. Even this here, you can see, I don't know if you noticed that small adjustment, but if you've got longer legs and you want support behind your knees, that actually kind of curls out to give you a little bit longer seat, which is very nice. And all of that, of course, is connected to a 2-driver memory system as well. And that's connected to your keys too. So when you get in with driver 1 key, it will all adjust for you, which is really nice. Looking up here by our driver's side knee, we've got some of our safety features here. The buttons for that, I'll go over that in a minute. Our power trunk and our electronic parking brake. That's a weird spot for the parking brake, I will admit. It's usually in the center console, but nonetheless, it is there. So some of the advanced safety features, I won't get into all of them because there's a lot to list, but the usual suspects, so to speak. So we have blind spot monitoring, we have lane departure warning, we have forward emergency braking with forward collision avoidance, with what's the other one? Forward emergency braking, collision avoidance. And the warning system, and kind of goes without saying, it's going to warn you before it breaks. But anyway, we also have blind spot collision avoidance. So if you go to make a lane change or something like that, the blind spot warning's on, it activates, and you still, just for some reason, want to turn into that lane, it's actually going to gently nudge you back into your lane so you don't get into that accident. We have adaptive cruise control as well. So you set cruise at 120. No doubtably, there's a car going 110. It will automatically slow down once that car gets out the way. It'll go back up to your cruising speed. But it has all of the advanced safety features you would 100% expect in a vehicle of this caliber. They're all on board to keep the entire family safe, which is super important. All your radio Bluetooth controls up top here. We have our, again, adaptive cruise control here. Our menu button for the center display. I'll give you kind of a little closer look at that. A fully digital display. You can see in the bottom right there, 40,617 kilometers. You can customize this display, pretty cool. There's a lot of different options for what you want to see and where you want to see it and everything like that. Won't get into it. It's a lot to go through and I just won't stop. So yeah, digital display, very nice. Mess around with that on your own time. You're going to find out it's got a lot of cool features there. Now, looking down the center stack, I'll just give you a quick scroll before we get into some of the nice features here. So let's talk first and foremost about our infotainment display. So you can see right now it's on guest. So there's 3 different driver profiles you can set, and that's going to customize a lot of the infotainment system, including like your presets for your radio. What else does it do? I think your climate control settings, a lot. I know it customizes a lot. I just don't recall off the top of my head. It's not often we get these cars in, so you have to, I apologize for not knowing the whole ins and outs. Now, I like this screen. This is kind of the home screen here, and it gives you some weather information through Sirius satellite radio. It gives you a kind of a ghosted image of the navigation system, the time. It's pretty slick. And then if you scroll right, you get to the other menu systems here. So your navigation on board. So we'll just click on the, we'll click on that first to just give you kind of a, right? Navi's pretty neat. And then you also have this little split screen option here, which will show your media and everything on the right-hand side, and then a smaller version of the map, which is kind of cool. Just some options for you. Let's go back home. What else are we going to talk? Oh, well, let's talk about passenger talk. This is a cool feature that so many people like. So I don't know if you can kind of hear, but it just got a little echoey in here. That's because it is using the Bluetooth microphone to now activate those rear speakers with my voice. So if you got little ones in the back that are driving you bonkers, instead of turning around and yelling, and then of course, your partner's freaking out at you, don't yell at the kids. Well, okay, don't yell at the kids. Use your passenger talk in a nice, calm, soothing voice to shut up back there, because you're trying to drive, right? No, we don't do that, do we? Anyway, that's your passenger talk feature. It's kind of cool. Quiet mode does almost the opposite. What quiet mode will do, it will actually mute the back speakers. So that way, if you are in the front, the kids are sleeping in the back, you can still listen to your music or whatever it is you're listening to, but the kids won't have their speakers active back there. So it keeps them obviously a little bit quieter sleeping, and sleeping kids are happy kids. Happy kids means a happy drive. Rear climate control, as I said, you can turn that on or off from the front here by locking the rear controls. That will come in handy too if you got little ones that love to push buttons. What else do I want to show you here? Blue Link is Hyundai's app. You can download the app on your phone. It is a paid service, but you can download the app and then you can remote start the vehicle, unlock the door, open the trunk, find your vehicle via GPS. A lot of great features through Hyundai Blue Link. Definitely worth the small price for the app subscription. So I highly recommend doing that. Now, scrolling down, touchscreen's great. Oh, sorry, you know what? I forgot one more thing. I'll get to it in a second. Scrolling down, touchscreen's great, but we do have a lot of the buttons for the radio all right here. So that way, if you are a little bit shorter arms, you don't. Well, that was an interesting cut. I ran out of memory on my iPhone. So here we are back again in the Palisade interior. I apologize. Our tri-zone climate control up front, automatic, just set the temperature and it'll automatically adjust to that for you with the heating and the air conditioning and the fan speed, which is great. You can have independence for the driver and passenger side and the rear as well, which will keep everybody nice and happy. Now, moving down, here is the one, we'll call it quirky thing about the Palisade. So we don't have a gear shifter, we don't have a dial, we don't have, you know, a lever, nothing. We have buttons. And I'm okay with this. This is not a bad thing. It's just one of those things that is different. So park, reverse, neutral, drive, pretty simple. When we put it in reverse, you've got a nice, clear, very big rear view camera, and there's the top down view that we were talking about with the 4 cameras on the outside. Gives you this nice top down view, makes parking very, very easy. We do have a couple different options for the camera in the back. That is the side cameras on the mirrors, so if you're trying to parallel park, and then what's that one there? Oh yeah, a top down view if you want to you know, trailer hitch. Gosh, I can't get that word out. If you want to back up to a trailer and line it up, that will be helpful as well. Now, another little thing is once you have it in reverse and that camera's activated, you can put it in drive and it gives you a front camera. Now, this is especially helpful if you're trying to park in a big parking lot or maybe in the garage, in a condo, whatever, and you want to get nice and close and tight because maybe you're just, you know, you just squeeze in. Well, that is the camera to use for that. And then you're obviously going to get nice and close, but not ruin that nice front bumper. Now, we just push P for park and we're back in park. And then over here, let's talk about a couple of the neat controls here. So first and foremost, auto hold. That is something you're going to want to use almost every time you hop in. Auto hold will engage the parking brake for you when you are driving. Oh, that was a poor explanation. Auto hold will engage the parking brake when you come to a complete stop while driving. Where this is nice, stop and go traffic, you can take your foot off of the brake once you're at a complete stop with the auto hold engaged, and then push the gas pedal. It releases very seamlessly. So you can just take your foot off the brake pedal if you're going to be stopped for more than a second or two. It just, you know, a little bit nicer, a little bit more, less fatigue, I should say, while driving in stop and go traffic. That's the way to use that. Cool little setup here. Comfort, Eco, Sport, and Smart mode for your drive modes. And obviously, those will tune and change how the engine performs to give you the best fuel economy. The Sport mode or Smart. Smart really just automatically determines which ones you're trying to go into based on how you're driving. Push the middle button here, and now you have sand, mud, and snow mode available for the all-wheel drive system. If you are in a situation where you're in mud or sand, obviously go ahead and use that. The snow mode, you can use snow mode. The automatic all-wheel drive will really quickly pick up that there's a little bit of loss of traction, but if you want that extra confidence, go ahead and use that mode. That's not a bad idea. Over here, we've got our idle engine off, so you can turn it so the engine will shut off if you're sitting for a little bit of time. You can push that to get your camera activated. Your rear sonar you can turn off if you're towing. Downhill descent control, that's an old school thing. Cooled and heated front seats, just like those captain's chairs in the back. And then we have our heated steering wheel as well, that leather wrapped heated steering wheel, which is really nice. And then looking down here on our center display, you can slide this up, and we have a wireless cell phone charger, USB plug, couple of cup holders. Everything's nice and hidden here. And then we've also got in here another USB plug, 12-volt charger, etc. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is, yes, this is Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Just in case I forgot, it is Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, which is, of course, what do they say? The bee's knee? Is that one of those? I don't know, it's stupid. Anyway, you know, it's cool. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, it's what you want to use. So this has been a tour of this 2022 Hyundai Palisade, 40,000 kilometers, no accidents, one owner, fantastic condition, tons of features. I've been talking too long. The next thing you need to do is either visit us online at claringtonkia.ca or pop by, take this out for a drive, fall in love, we'll help you purchase it, and you'll be super happy you did, because this is a very, very, very luxurious 6-passenger SUV that you can't go wrong with. Let's face it, it's beautiful. You want to own it, I want to sell it, and your family will thank you for it. So we look forward to seeing you either online or in store at Clarington Kia. Talk to you soon.